Oh yeah, as an actual video, but
Mhm. I could probably actually edit it, like, while having dinner later. It shouldn't be too hard to, like, set up. You just put on the tags for the social media stuff.
oh, I mean, yeah, it's not gonna be hard. It's just gonna be more of a going through the video if there's breaks and whatnot, cutting those out. That's gonna be the only thing.
And adding a beginning. We got starting soon with the audio playing or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, we got this right, easy peasy. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
This is what I'm gonna do. Give me one sec. Let me see if this fucking crackhead lady's on her way.
Oh, what up, bloody buddies?
Oh no, she's only shopped 10 out of the 18 items. How the fuck?
Halfway.
Yeah, so I guess we just start shooting the shit and then fucking break for a minute so I can grab all this shit. And you said there was a fucking directory?
Yeah,
What
pod
is it?
talk shows and podcasts.
Oh, there is. Holy fuck. Okay. Let me click this fucking thing. Oh, look at that. What's the podcast about? Fucking video game talking old men. Fucking, we don't even, bro. Who the fuck knows?
Ah,
Right?
A to Z gaming, baby.
Are you live yet?
Yep. It won't let me knock
Okay.
on you. You got knocks turned off.
Yeah, on purpose because fucking weirdos are weird. Uh,
Understandable.
uh, allow. You just mute your mic on this. So I sent you the request thingy, or it should have been sent. Did you get it?
Probably. I don't know. I'm on the other side. Let me see. Nope. Wait. Hang on. Yep.
Did you click
Uh,
it?
yeah, yeah, but I have this thing. I can't do it with my browser. So I have to cut copy and paste over to Chrome because I hate Chrome.
It just allows like all the viewers to go to one place and all the chat to go to one place. Your stream should be able to hear your call now if you're accepting. Yes. Shared chat has started. Level up your collaboration with shared chat. What the fuck? All right, I need somebody to type something in either stream to see if it's going to both streams. That would be fan fucking tastic. For typing? Why is it not working?
Why is what not working?
Canceled my request? This. Oh, wait, do it again, chat.
I say it looks like it's working to me.
There it goes. No, now it's working.
Fucking MB.
See, now you can see everything. I mean, majority of people are going to get fucking ignored during it, so it's fine. But
I already have a pinned message on mine that says recording. I will not be entertaining chat while recording, but we are live. We should be good.
oh, I should do that too.
And we'll have to,
Uh,
like I said, I'll do some research as to far as like the cameras because it'll be easier to just have a blank camera with a background setup yourself, if that makes sense, rather than like each person having to do it separately.
Yes. Oh no, I have no water. Hold on. Don't podcast yet.
Hold on, don't podcast yet. Wait, hold my beer.
This bitch is changing shit again?
Yeah, we're good. We're good with chat for now. Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to use the restroom right before we go too. Son of a Mitch! I drank too much coffee while prepping this up. Whoopsie! Time for a fart joke, baby. Hey, exclamation mark fart. Oh, dude. Let's we need to go to this. Properties. Filters. Crop. We'll crop the left just a little bit more. There we go. All right. Un momento, I'm gonna be right back as well. Before we get lost knee deep into a pile of farts and shit.
This is the worst experience ever. Oh my god. So annoyed. Okay, now you have my pseudo oh, he's not even here. He's gone, chat. Be right back. Pissing. Reasonable. At least this is a mess from the beginning, and you guys can enjoy the whole mess of the mess that's the mess.
Okay.
Okay, so you have my undivided attention until this Walmart order comes.
Which is how long?
Whenever this shopper decides that she's going to get off her ass and finish it.
So, do you want to just record the intro then? Kind of like our discussion. It should take like maybe 10 minutes or take, and then just take a definite pause break so that you can finish that up.
I mean,
it just makes it easier to cut, copy, and edit rather than like being mid conversation. They ring on the doorbell, right?
I mean, if they ring on the doorbell mid conversation, I don't have to go sign anything.
Gotcha.
Kind of like up to you. I don't really care. It could take her 10 minutes. It could take her 2 hours. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
18 items, and she said 3 of them were unavailable and then substituted the 4th. So I don't know what the fuck, who the fuck, how the fuck is going on. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So I don't know.
All right. Let's get it. So, yo, what's up, everybody? Hi, Travic here, and we have our co-host over here.
What?
What?
You want me to talk or your talk? What do you mean? What? I'm so confused now.
Got to rattle the cage before you start it up, right? Get the brain rattled.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Hey, you all right? You ready? You sure you're ready for this? You're not too cooked?
I'm fine.
You sure?
I'm good. I thought he brain farted too. I'm too distracted. I'm not distracted in the slightest. I was very confused by what he said. Right? Right? Okay, so it's not just me.
It's just you.
Great. Fuck me, of course.
No, it's good, man. We can do this 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different times. It doesn't matter to me. I'm good. I'm ready to roll, man. I'm ready to go. However you want our intro to be. You want me to introduce you? Or do you want to introduce yourself?
You start things.
I did, and you failed.
I didn't. You. Holy fucking. Okay.
All right. We're gonna start it up. Okay. I'm gonna say hello. I'm gonna introduce myself, and then I'm going to say, and we have our co-host, and then that's where you
said
pick
it
up.
backwards. You said it actually backwards.
Did I?
Yeah. You said, "Hi guys, Travic here, and this is our co-host," and I was like,
"Did I really?" Then I'm fried. Then
yeah. Right. That's why I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I was so confused.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Like I'm sitting here, I'm ready to go, and I'm listening to this. I'm like, and then you said, after I said, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I just got to make sure you're rattled and ready to go." So I'm like, "Oh, maybe he's like testing to make sure I'm paying attention." No, I am paying attention. You cooked it, and then it's, "Oh, bro, are you sure?" Huh?
Hey, I'm about as cooked as you are, man. Work and then kids, wife, dog that we're taking care of. Shit.
Oh, I can't do this. Okay, the floor is yours.
The floor is mine.
Hee XD.
All right, no takesies backs. Here we go. Let me fix this shit real quick.
Fucking goose fraba.
All right. Let's try this one more time. All right. Scene 12. Take 2. Ready. Cut. Yo, hey guys. Spooker here. Starting the Loot Farming Gossip podcast with our co-host here, Travic.
Hello.
And we're going to be discussing many different things. But the main topic, what both of us share in common, what we love, what we do, and just everything, greatness and all, video games. So we're going to start off today's episode with the very beginning of time and what brings us to the world of video games from the very beginning, whether it be nostalgia, whether it be what we first remember gaming-wise, or everything up to what led us to the wonderful world of video games. So,
this is a pilot episode.
Yes.
It's got to listen. I got to be comedic relief if we're going to do this every once in a while. And then you got to tell me to shut up. And then you go back into your intro and then you're like, yo, stop talking. You ruin the mood. And then I say, my bad.
Okay.
Anyways,
so shut up. Let's start with you. Okay. Since you're Mr. Yippity Yappity and you just want to get going and rolling and down the road with 4 flats and no roadway.
Comedic relief for the pilot episode, man. Great.
So, if you don't mind starting off, what was the very first video game that you remember playing?
Oh my God, how far do you want to go back? Do you want to, we're talking like out of the womb, like first video game?
We're talking the first video game that you can remember that you said, this is fun.
Twinston's, no, that's a lie. That's the second video game I remember playing. The first game I ever remember sitting down and playing was Mario on the NES when I was like 6 years old. And then I remember my first computer game, but that's a whole different thing. I remember playing Mario in the NES and calling out of school, and my mom would play Mario with me way back in the day.
I love the way you say that.
What? What do you mean?
Mario.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's all good though. It's all good. That's actually one of the first ones for me too. The original Mario Brothers, not to be confused with Super Mario Brothers. Yes.
Yeah, like on the NES, a little 2D pixel thing. You jump over a wall, there's a pipe, you go down a pipe.
Yeah, 100%. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I remember too. That was actually that was one of the first video games that I played as well, which is probably one of the best games to date, to be honest, when it comes to OG classical games, right? Actually,
Bro, we're just old.
Yeah, we are. We're just old.
It's the problem. We're just old.
One of the games that I remember that I don't know why this is one of the games that sticks in my head so well, but it was called Klax, if I remember correct. And it was for the regular Nintendo.
Klax?
Yeah, Klax. And it was basically where like these squares would be flipping towards you. And then
like
you would
CLAX?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's the name, the spelling of it. I'm not 100% sure, but it might be KLAX. I'm not sure.
Is it a puzzle game?
It was kind of like a puzzle game. But it was basically these squares would be flipping towards you, towards the camera. And I don't remember if you have to catch it or stop it or whatever. And that was my first introduction to like the very, very beginning of remembering video games.
Colored black blocks tumbling down a machine and arrange them in colored rows in patterns to make them disappear. Published as a coin-op follow-up to Tetris.
Yeah.
This is knockoff Tetris.
Hey, I'm just telling you. As far as like console gaming, that was one of the first that I remember that just sticks in the back of my head.
Console gaming, dude. How far we've come.
I know, right?
From little blocks and Mario doing Mario thing to, well, God, where we're even out now.
Do you? I actually had the experience to be able to play like Atari games as well, which is kind of tiny bit before our time, if I remember correctly.
I never had an Atari. Yeah, Atari was definitely before our time. At least I think.
Yeah, I believe
Should
so.
Be?
Yeah, I believe so. That's like what, 50s, 60s?
No
maybe not,
way.
Maybe not that far back.
That old. Hold up.
I'm sorry,
There's
80s.
Google
80s. I meant 80s, not 50s. Like early 80s.
Man, it's like Atari was released September 11th, 1977. You're gonna date Atari back to the 50s, and you're gonna have a crazy taco wielding loving lunatic named Bob chasing you down on the streets saying that it's not old and you're just causing all kinds of riots and chaos now.
Of course.
There's somebody out there listening.
Of course.
And he's revving his engines, bro.
Hey, I'm ready. I got the stop signs up and everything. I meant 80s, not 50s, but regardless, yeah, I actually had the privilege to be able to play some of the Atari games. Do I remember any of them? No, not even a chance. Same with like the Commodore 64. Do you remember the Commodore 64?
No.
You don't like. I'm not necessarily like playing it or using it. You know what the term Commodore 64 is?
I've heard the term Commodore 64, yeah, but
it was like the beginning of PC gaming, pretty much. One of the very beginning. But anyways, back to like the beginning and nostalgia. In the console gamings and what you did and beyond what you remember, obviously, what was the most iconic console game that you remember diving into the most in the beginning?
Oh, that is I played a game. So like, obviously, like the first answer that a lot of people are always going to be like is, oh my God, my first real deep dive game was like, you know, your Final Fantasies or your Resident Evils, but I remember way back in the day, even before I found out what Zelda was, there was an old school game. I want to say it was on Super Nintendo called Final Fight. It was a side scrolling game, and you picked one of two characters, and you just walked across like the streets of all these different neighborhoods and different towns, and you had to fight your way past all the enemies and all the bad guys. And there was like 4 or 5 stages. And I remember you would walk through the town and you'd beat up all the bad guys. And there was the one dude who was a boss. He'd sit on the wall. He'd flip off the wall. You start beating him up. Then you kick his ass. And then you go on a bus. And then the bus is crazy and full of these dudes. And I remember trying to like get through this game. And that game was like ridiculously hard. And I was either torn between that or Ghouls and Goblins when I was a kid, because that game also kind of sucked because you were just like a knight with some armor, and then you would get hit by random things and you would die, and then you'd be running around butt ass naked, but then you'd have some, tidy whities on, but then you put some more armor on, and there was like a Dracula vampire kind of guy. But it's torn up between those two is first thing that come to mind.
Yeah, that's great. So you were a lot like my neighbor, which was like on the Nintendo side of things, where I was on the Sega. The Sega Genesis was my first major console and gaming wise, and it was started with one of the most, well, I won't say most, but one of the definitely very iconic video games that we all, I'm sure, know, called Sonic. And that's what had me stuck for probably at least probably the first year of the video game nostalgia start.
Right. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Sonic was a good one. Sonic was very good.
Yeah, it definitely was. I loved Sonic. I still go back and play some of Sonic, like some of the newer gen Sonics, like Sonic Frontier. What was the other one that I think just came out recently? That was, again, it was also like a side scroller, but one of the newer versions.
My kid loves Sonic. So
I think I play it more nowadays for us nostalgia rather than like actual, like I play it because I have fun. Now, don't get me wrong, I have fun, but it's the nostalgia side of me that's having the fun in it rather than like a game today like Diablo 2 or Diablo 4, where I actually enjoy the deep diving into the different fundamentals and mechanics of the game itself.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually.
So after Sonic, though, I went down. There was two different games that I know a lot of people ended up confusing, and there was Final Fantasy, and this was back in the early days of like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Which I was not on that side of the fan base. I played Phantasy Star.
Phantasy Star Online.
Before online.
Yeah, I know Phantasy Star.
Yeah,
I played Blue Burst for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did the original. My two favorite ones that I played over and over and over again was Phantasy Star 3 was the first one that I enjoyed playing over and over, and then Phantasy Star 2, both of which were for the Sega Genesis, I believe. It might have been somewhere else too, but
you got me beat on that one. I have no idea.
Oh, I know, because it was definitely that's all I had access to was a Genesis at the time when I was playing those. I was lucky and fortunate that my dad had his Sega Genesis still working. So that was awesome.
Yeah, makes sense.
But then shortly after coming to where I reside now over here in Georgia, I found out, like, going through the nostalgia kicks in my brain, I was just randomly thinking of Phantasy Star from back in the day. I think it was an announcement or something from Phantasy Star Online or Online 2 or something like that I remember hearing about. So I just went diving and I found out that they actually made a Phantasy Star 4. So this was about, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago.
Oh,
So
that's pretty cool.
I went back and played through that probably like 4 or 5 times.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I didn't have access to any of that because, like you said, we were on the Nintendo side of things. So like, I played like Zelda.
Oh, I definitely played Zelda, not to the extent that others did because I had to play via the friend's console across the street, so I'd get a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there. So I actually
Yeah,
definitely missed out on the whole Zelda and the Link hero combat that everybody enjoys so much. And I actually went back probably after high school and had the chance to play Ocarina of Time for my
oh,
first
that's a good
time.
one. I want my kid to play that one when he's a little bit more older and can like focus on it. I definitely want him to play that. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, that's the hardest part with today and kids and video games is it seems like they're more into it for the social aspect of it than the actual like organic puzzles and games and funs that we are used to back in the day because that was
You
the entertainment.
should pick up if you liked the old Zelda. You should get Super Mario RPG. You can get it on the Switch nowadays.
Wait,
I've been meaning
is
to
that the
eventually.
newest one?
No, it's
That was
old, dude. It's from like Super Nintendo days, but they re-released it on the Switch, and it's like one of the coolest RPG games you'll ever play. Super Mario RPG.
well, our next console after the Sega Genesis was the Nintendo 64. So we got to play Mario 64, I think was the name of it.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
Dude, that was an awesome one, man. I played that one for probably years.
Hold. Cool. That was a good holding stop. Hold there for 1 minute because that's a good pause. I got to go to my door.
You're good.
So that worked. See? I need great conversation. Now you can ask people for feedback on if we suck or not. Maybe we suck. Maybe we don't. Maybe it's going good.
I don't know. I just took a clip for
You know.
time pause feedback. But yeah. Super fantastic. So what about you guys? What was your guys' most iconic video game growing up that you remember you just spent endless hours or endless time playing on repeat because it was just so fun you couldn't get away from it? Hey, I can't wait to play the new Pro League either. Secret of Mana. I'm gonna have to. That sounds familiar. Secret of Mana, but I just for some reason can't pinpoint my memory on it. Oh, Gauntlet Legends. I have Gauntlet on Steam. What is it called? I think it's called Gauntlet. Oh, Spyro was a good one. RuneScape. I never really got into RuneScape, but I did. Oh, Earthworm Jim. Well, yeah, dude. Earthworm Jim was a great one. Final Fantasy 1. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. This one is. Where is it? Do-do-do. I had it installed. Is it not installed anymore? Oh, it's just called Gauntlet. Gauntlet TM. Oh, thanks for the follow, Ray Ray. Appreciate you. Hey, what's up, Guina? Pokemon. All right, so
Okay.
typical question. Red, yellow, or
Typical.
blue?
Oh God. See? 2 seconds. We're done.
Earthbound. Ready to pick up?
Yeah. You know how you're going back into it?
Depends on where we're going back in.
Oh. So you said that you found out and started on, or wait, hold on, wait. I got you. I got this. So you reminisce about Nintendo 64 and you finally got it. But when you have the opportunity to go really deep into it and get your first real game outside of Mario 64, was there another one, or was it only Mario 64 that you really just deep dived into?
Oh, there was several games that I deep dived in on the Nintendo 64.
Because I feel like everybody says Mario 64. Like everybody's always like, "Oh my god, Mario 64," but nobody's ever like, like I don't know, some crazy game nobody expected, like the blasting game with the cars that turned into robots that wasn't Transformers. You know what I'm talking about? There was another like Transformers game.
Oh yeah. No, actually, I won't say the first. The most memorable game from the Nintendo 64 for me was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
See, I wasn't allowed to play those games.
I wasn't either.
I didn't have.
My friend brought it over, and we snuck it into the garage and did what we had to do to play it. But hey, sometimes you do what you got to do when you got video games to play, right?
I know. That makes sense. What came first? Was it Nintendo 64 or was it PlayStation 1?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Nintendo 64 was 1996 and PlayStation 1 was 2000. Nintendo 64 came first. Okay. Because I have, for me, like you're reminiscing about 64. I have fond memories of remembering like PlayStation 1 more than I remember Nintendo 64. But I definitely remember playing like, and it's cliche, but like a ton of like Mario, like you mentioned. And I also remember tons of Turok. But I never played the Conker's Bad Fur Day. That was just never something that I was able to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's understandable. That's what I'm saying. Like you have so many people that grew up, because I mean, we were both born in the same year, and it's crazy the amount of difference that we experienced growing up through the video games throughout the years. You've experienced a side of video games just from our past talks and things we've discussed that I never had a chance or never even knew existed. And then vice versa, like you've heard of Conker's Bad Fur Day, but you never really got the chance to experience or play it. And if there was any game from the Nintendo 64 that I could bring to a new gen, current gen game today, I would bring Conker's Bad Fur Day, because it was such a heavy impact on me. It was one of the first person shooters. Well, it was more like a third person shooter, but it was one of the first shooters that I had the experience on, minus GoldenEye, obviously. That was a big thing. And then what was the other one? The other big one from 64, was it Mario Kart? Was Mario Kart the one on 64? Or was it before 64?
No, Mario Kart was back in Nintendo, like Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Oh, no. We're talking about 64.
No, you're on 64.
Yeah. No, you're right. But yeah, it's just, yeah. But after I dove down the whole Conker's Bad Fur Day, there was just for so many years, all the way up until current years, when I think back and I think nostalgia and I think games that had like the heaviest impact on me, I would probably put Conker's Bad Fur Day at the very top, because I'm constantly, and I think it could be because it was one of those video games, like you said, that you weren't allowed to play, and I wasn't allowed to play, but I went ahead and found a way to be able to play it anyways. And it's just
I was able to play things like GoldenEye, and I played Doom, and I played Hexen, I played Perfect Dark, and there was another game on Nintendo 64, and I'm like trying to Google it while you're having this conversation. It was like a first person. It was like called like Wind Dark or something like that. Or I don't think it was Perfect Dark. Was it Perfect Dark?
Perfect Dark was a really good one. It was a really good shooter. Yeah. I remember Perfect Dark.
No, it wasn't Perfect Dark. It was a different one. It was a different game. I can't find, obviously, now while we're in the middle of this, I can't find what I'm looking for, but it's okay. Find it later. Well, be fine. Maybe.
Let's see. We got GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Turok 1 and 2, Doom, Quake 2, South Park, comedy FPS.
Texan, NBA Jam. That's not an FPS game. This list is. Oh, it's called Winback. That's what it was. Winback covert operations.
I was just.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that one's actually, yeah. I'd say I'm looking at the list of shooters that they listed. Doom 64, Quake 2. Was Hexen on the console?
According to the list that I'm looking at, and it seems to be the same one that you're looking at, it sounds like it was on the console, but I don't remember playing Hexen on console. I definitely remember playing Hexen for the first time on like PC.
It was 100%. My first time was PC, and I loved Hexen. It was probably the first major puzzle-related shooter style killing monsters that I remember, and I actually have it for Steam because I go back and play it every once in a while. But the I don't know how the heck I managed to do some of the controls and configuring it, because it's like, whoa. Have you tried to play Hexen on recently in the newest?
No. If I ever go back and play old games like that, it was like old Doom. I remember being in computer class in school, and we would sneak on a game called MDK on our little Macs. We used to play a game called MDK. If you ever get the chance to look that one up, I think it was called Murder Death Kill, and it was like this like futuristic robot looking game on a Mac.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I remember that very vividly as a kid.
So, back to your side. If you can list, and we'll just go from the era of 90s.
Oh, God.
We'll say it's in the 90s. What would be your top 3 games that you particularly, that just stand out in your head without having to like think too much into it? What would be the top 3 games from your 90s before the Y2K?
Resident Evil 1. Zelda on the Super Nintendo, and that's a tough one. It's either Zelda on the Super Nintendo or Final Fantasy VII, but I don't remember Final Fantasy VII was. It was 97. And Super Mario RPG for sure. Oh, Chrono Trigger. Ooh, there's too many choices. Chrono Trigger was really good.
I agree. That's probably one of the most difficult questions I can even ask myself, is to put 3 games down. But if I had to, Silent Hill, yeah.
Dude, I used to play Silent Hill with my mom. My mom would get so scared. I remember one time we were playing Silent Hill. I know I'm off track, but that's the whole beauty of this, right? I remember playing Silent Hill as a kid with my mom, and she would want to play, and she would want somebody to watch, and it was like, I would like watch my mom play. And I remember one time there was a cat in a locker, and the cat jumped out of the locker, and my mom screamed bloody murder. My dad came running into the living room, thought somebody died.
Yeah. So you probably already know one that's definitely on the list for my 90s. That would be Conker's Bad Fur Day. Probably near the top of the 3. But outside that particularly, I'd probably have to say Sonic. So Sonic, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and probably it'd be a tie. It'd be a close tie between Hexen and Quake.
Yep.
Quake for I would say probably the multiplayer part of it, and Hexen because I've always loved puzzle-based combat games.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
I want to say Jet Force Gemini. Did you ever have the chance to play Jet Force Gemini?
I remember that. Yes, core memory unlocked.
Yeah, it was almost like a Mega Man style look, and then you had, was it a dog?
Yeah.
It was a dog, and then a female that you got to play as, if I remember right. And you'd be shooting the dang big bugs that looked like giant ants up on two legs and shit.
It has definitely been a minute, but I definitely know what you're talking about. Definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I definitely remember spending a lot of time on that game. There's so many games because I actually got into many, I don't want to say fights, but disagreements with my mother because she always wanted to limit me to X amount of time on video games growing up. And, you know, I'd get kicked out to go play outside, and she'd lock the door, and I'd be outside playing games and sneak back in through the window, and he'd come in yelling at me, "Didn't I tell you to go outside?"
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
Oh, the
No,
memories.
mine was the same. Mine was like the opposite. My mom would be like, don't go outside. The outside's scary.
Oh, shoot. I wish. Things would
Yeah,
have
no,
been.
my mom was always very a little nervous. She always thought the world was going to kidnap us. So my mom would always be like, oh, yeah, play video games, bro. It's okay.
Yeah, that sounds like my wife and our daughter. She'd be like, "No, play video games inside, sweetheart. That's where you're safe."
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that's my mom. Yeah, I never had that. You know, it's always like such a topic of discussion. Like, oh my god, did video games like ruin us as a kid? Did we spend too much time gaming and not enough time outside?
So let's
You know, are
touch
we
on that for a
socially
minute.
okay? Go ahead.
Because I agree with you. Like that's been a major topic for many years now. You know, and a lot of people say, "Well, video games ruin people." So, what's your take on that?
Nah, dude, people ruin people. Video games don't ruin people.
Well, who made video games?
That is literally you're gonna go to a circle now. Oh well, the people made the
No, no, no,
video
no.
game, that a thing, that a thing.
Nope. Nope.
It's people. It's. I don't think video games are the problem, but more or less like the lessons that we were taught from, like as kids about like not being idiots. You know, I don't want to go into a whole parenting spiel about like, oh, if I had a strong father figure in my life, but I feel like, well, I did. For the record, I had a very strong father figure and mother figure in my life. Shout out to my mom and dad.
Oh, of course.
But I don't know. I think games are fine. I think it's just the way that kids were taught. Like my son loves the game, right? He's like huge into gaming. We play a lot of games together.
Right.
But he knows like that they're games, and he knows that like, you know, it's not something to get super mad over. And like, you know, we talk about what he can do, what he shouldn't do, how to handle it, you know, gaming in moderation, that it's, you know, it's not real life. What did he learn from playing the game?
Right.
You know, we play all kinds of fun stuff. We play like different kinds of chess games or different kinds of math games, you know, different kinds of games to like coordinate his hand-eye coordination. Like there's a lot. I think there's a lot to learn from like PC gaming if you do it right. But I think if you just like I think it only becomes a problem when people just have like unfiltered or uncontrolled access, and they just like do whatever and not understand what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
You
no
know,
doubt.
like I wouldn't give my son, you know, access to GTA until he was older and knew what it was, you know, versus like, oh, you want to go play this cool, like fun little like Roblox zombie game? Let's go do that and like talk about what zombies are and what's going on. And
Right.
you know,
But back towards the topic, like you said, no, you don't want to go down a rabbit hole on parenting side of things, but your actual take versus like, what do you think the effect on video games has on that side of the fence?
what do you mean?
Well, just in general, like you were saying, you don't think video games is the problem, right? And I
No.
completely agree with you. I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate on this particular note because I think it's a really touchy topic for some people because it's like, in my opinion, video games was always like where I took out a lot of my, you could say anger, but I wouldn't say with anger. I would say more of like frustration. If I had a bad day at school, hell, I wanted to come home, launch up some Halo, and shoot some motherfuckers in the head, whoop their ass in 4v4.
It's aggressive. Sorry,
Well,
it's just
You know what I'm saying? But it's, that was just my thing. I was like, I could have chose that, or I could have chose to do something in the real life that could have potentially put me in jail or prison or whatever the case may be, right?
That.
But instead, I chose to just go play a video game, which allowed me to release that, inner demon side.
See, I never had that, right? I never had those problems, right? I'm not saying that they're problems. Like for me, I think a lot of gaming like cultivated the way that my brain kind of functions and how I perceive puzzles and stuff. So like when I was growing up and I was playing a lot of games and like doing things, I always played like the Resident Evil, like I said, and the Silent Hills and the Final Fantasies, or like even when I got a little older, if I could play a game for me that stimulates a puzzle aspect or like solving a problem, it's always like, I don't want to say sharpened, but it makes me feel like I've like sharpened my own senses. And I can see it with other people too, like when you present them with like certain problems, whether it's just like, how do you craft this item in a game, or how do you get out of this room, or how do you solve this like escape room? For me, like doing a lot of gaming is just like made my brain look and function at different things in ways that like I probably wouldn't have decided to look at things if I didn't game.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, 100%. No, I completely agree. There's what's the word? There's been similar aspects that I've had as well. That whole, when you open the fridge, and you're like, hey, where's the ketchup? And then the wife opens the fridge and it's right there. It's type of style of crap. But opening your mind into video games and puzzles, right? That was my strong suit. That's what I enjoyed. Platformers, puzzle jumpers, puzzle solvers, where you had to do this, and this. Did you ever get the chance to play Alone in the Dark?
Yes.
That was probably one of my most favorite horror games that scared the crap out of me, and I didn't want to play it because it scared me, but then I wanted to play it at the same time because it had so many good puzzles in it. So I kept coming back. But needless to say, to touch on the topic one last time, just to close it off and move on to the next, in my personal opinion, when it comes to video games ruining people or making society worse, I feel it's the total opposite. So video games give me a way to get out of my frustrations and my worries and my troubles and completely focus on something that is fun or having fun rather than the miserable things going on or the things that are punishing the mental side of people. So I feel like some of those things that could have happened didn't, because we were able to relieve that stress.
I think we grew up with very different childhoods. Listen to this, I'm like, I don't know if I can relate to this and this.
Oh, I mean, not everybody. No, not everybody at all.
I know, yeah.
But I mean, I guess we'll just put it. I'll put it in perspective from my side. When I was being raised, don't get me wrong, both my parents were loving, caring, 100%. There was no issues with my parenting, but in some of the I won't say choices, in some of the places that I was growing up, they weren't always the best of places. So even though I had crazy good parents, sometimes I'd be in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, and you got to do what you got to do. But with that being said, it's like I was bullied in elementary school, and it wasn't until middle school, late middle school, almost high school, when I decided for the first time to actually stand up for myself. So if that kind of puts the perspective on like being able to come home to video games and like release that frustration or that anger or those types of things, that's where I'm coming from. Not like I actually wanted to go out and hurt an individual, right?
No, I didn't think that.
But of course,
I get what you're saying.
I wouldn't doubt that we were completely raised on different sides of the fence, but that's the cool thing, man. We can we can be raised in so many different ways, but still come to a common grounds of, you know, what we think and what we like and what we dislike, right?
This humble podcast got so real. Crying. Holy, the stage is set.
Hey, you know, I mean, but that's honestly like that in a nutshell, that was my background on why video games were so important to me, is because it allowed me to basically just turn off reality and launch into this world where things that you could never imagine can be done. And I literally could take myself and just insert myself into said video game. And you know how I remember back in the day, like playing like Halo, you know, you would have those Halo 3 matches, Halo 2 matches, whatever it would be, and we would have, I don't know, a piece of cardboard blocking for the split screen, so that you guys you couldn't see your teammate's screen. See, I could zone in so well that like I wouldn't even see anything around whatever my focus was. So like if I was playing my game, watching said screen, somebody could come into the room, somebody could come talk to me, somebody could tap me on the shoulder, and I was in the game. There was no getting to me. I was locked and loaded and ready to roll.
I get it. I do.
But back, let's take it back a little bit. So back to the 3 games, right? You said what?
It's like a quiz. Yeah. I said I was torn with number 2. Number 1 was Resident Evil 1. I was torn with number 2 between, you know, the whole Final Fantasy Chrono Trigger, you know, Super Mario RPG thing, Silent Hill. But so I don't know. Good.
So you were more into like the zombies kind of.
Oh, horror, 100%.
Horror. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, that's
anything scary was great. Even nowadays, like I look forward to like the next Poppy Playtime or the next Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, dude, my daughter loves Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh yeah, really, really good. I'm like super deep into the lore. I watch all the videos.
Oh yeah, so does she.
Yep.
I probably know more about that game than I'd like to admit. Well, probably not as much, but yeah. Needless to say, so you come from like a horror style background game,
yeah.
Whereas like me, my background is more of the like shooter, skill based platform puzzler style gaming, which is kind of cool.
There's nothing wrong with those. I don't know. I was always like, I like things like, yeah, just, I don't know. I always wanted to be scared. So.
No, I get it. My daughter's the same way. And I'm sure she probably gets that partially from me. I mean, I loved Alone in the Dark. Did you ever get to play any of the other Alone in the Darks as well? I think there's like 5 or 6 or 7 of them. I can't remember.
Probably. I don't remember. It's been a minute.
It has, because when we were discussing stuff earlier about like kind of the different things that we wanted to touch to start, I went back and was looking at some different games, and I remember Alone in the Dark, pulling up Alone in the Dark and trying to figure out which Alone in the Dark that I actually remember playing through, and I can't put my finger on whether it's 1 or 2, which was my first experience into the series. I definitely remember playing as Alan, and you were in a mansion, I think, trying to escape a mansion. And that's about, and I think in the end you end up, no spoiler alert, I think you end up like burning the tree that's like haunting the whole mansion grounds.
I don't remember any of that.
With their lantern.
No. It's hard to like relive and remember a lot of like the older stuff. You know, we're old now, man. somebody's going to be listening to me like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy said he was old.
I've said that on stream so many times, and my dad will, because a lot of times I'm in Discord with my dad hanging out in the background, and he'll be like, did you just say you're old? And I just crack up laughing every time he says that.
I feel like, I don't know, with my like gaming world, that like instead of reminisce, like I don't reminisce as much as like probably some people do about like the older games. Like, you know, we're having this kind of conversation. I'm trying to like remember a lot of the older stuff, and you're like so excited about your like, you know, you're Alone in the Dark, and I remember a lot of the old Silent Hill and stuff. But I like, it's just I don't know. I feel like a lot of my like core memories in terms of everything didn't really start setting in until I was like in middle school.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I think a lot of it's probably stems from like the way that I locked into video games because of how I got raised. I almost say raised because it had nothing to do with my parents. Like I said, my parents were great. It was more of like outside parent control crap going on, you know, being bullied and such and whatnot, and being able to just lock into a video game. And that's probably why some of these video games have such a strong remembrance in my mind, because there's some games that I definitely remembered playing, and they don't pop in my mind until like we're looking at this list, you know, like we pull up ChatGPT and look at these. Okay, well, what order of release dates did the console come in?
Yeah.
When, you know, and what kind of shooters were for this system, or whatever the case may be. And it's like I'm seeing all these titles, and it's like I remember playing that game. I remember playing that game, but when I just come to think about it, like when I just ask you a question and you're like, whoa, wait, what? So it makes sense, because a lot of times your brain too will fill in gaps with its own memories. I won't say its own memories, but it'll fill in the gaps from memory one, between memory one and memory two, even though your personal brain or your personal active memory is not there anymore, if that makes sense. It's there, but it's not recall. You can't recall that memory until something clues it in.
I hear you.
So after your nostalgia, let's jump to, I don't know, something more recent. So
how are you feeling about all this? I feel like it's like a pilot episode, and you know, this is like that the B-roll that you leave in, right? Like I'm listening to this, and I'm like, this is so interesting, it's so weird. You get nervous, unnervous. How you feeling?
I feel great, man. I feel normal. I mean, I'm not thinking of this as like I'm recording. I'm just thinking of this as I'm hanging out with a buddy. We're shooting a shit. I get to ask you questions that I don't ever get a chance to ask a lot of people. We're getting to know each other's gaming backgrounds and gaming thoughts, and going off on tangents and just having a good old time, man. I'm loving it.
Nice. Nice.
But as far as like, I think what's so cool about this, right, is that we can do and we can talk about what we want. Do we have topics to talk about? Of course. Of course. Are we going to start talking about one thing and then get off on a tangent, and the next thing we know, we're talking about being bullied while growing up? Hell yeah, I don't care. You know what though? I'm enjoying every minute of it, and I can't wait to be able to have these same sorts of conversations with people that you would have never thought to be able to even talk to, let alone respond to you when you reach out to them. So I'm excited, dude.
Nice. For anybody still listening at this point, you could comment down below and give us your feedback. It's one of those moments where you're like podcasting and you're on all platforms and you're podcasting. You got to make sure people are still listening, and you got to jolt them in.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I agree. And the cool thing about it is that anybody that is listening on, we'll say Spotify or Apple or wherever you may be listening to, if you would like to leave some feedback anywhere, we do have a YouTube channel that we will be posting this podcast on as well. So if you would like to leave some feedback, you can go there and do that as well. Subscribe and like and do all that good stuff.
I will Can you imagine somebody's like, "Oh my god, bro, I found you from Spotify." That would be the craziest shit to me. I was just perusing Spotify and your ass came up and I clicked it and here I would lose my mind.
It's gonna happen. It will, dude. You'd be surprised.
It's cool.
I've had people message me from the other podcast that I'm taking part of, and it's literally only had one episode.
Wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But that's why I said I thought it was a good idea. So we had been having a lot of discussions about different things, and I enjoy the content that you make as well as the discussions you hold and the games that you play. And for the most part, I play a lot of those same games. Like I was getting into, we both enjoy action RPGs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of my favorite genres of games, right? And of course, like you were saying, as we get older, we definitely have different genres or different things that appease us more so, right? And I think that's probably why I want to say in our age, but these games are a lot more lax, a lot more relaxed. I noticed I definitely I'm not as sharp as I used to be when it comes to loading up, that first person shooter or that player versus player match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm listening.
So with that being said, what got you into the genre of action RPGs?
Oh, I was in middle school, man, and my buddy was telling me about Diablo and how he was camping people with a frozen orb sork. And I thought it was the coolest thing to listen to because he would tell me how he would like camp people's bodies and steal their ears. I thought he was full of crap.
Stealing ears. I remember those good old days.
I mean, I don't consider I know people are gonna be like, oh my god, but you said Final Fantasy earlier, but I don't consider that like the whole aspect of thing. But I
what do you mean?
Well, okay, so Final Fantasy is definitely an RPG, right?
But it's an RPG, right? It's not an action RPG.
Yeah.
I mean, but one could beg to differ, right? I've had a lot of there's big controversy of what's actually considered an action RPG versus just an RPG versus just whatever else, right?
Yeah, but no, the thing that really got me into it was like I said, I remember this kid telling me about playing Diablo, and we were in middle school, and he was camping idiots and collecting their ears and stuff, and I remember going home and asking my parents to buy it for me, and they were very skeptical because it was a game about the devil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember how I convinced them to get it for me or what happened, but I ended up, maybe it was in early high school. I want to say it was middle school, either middle school or early high school. Somehow my parents bought it for me, and my whole life was ruined from there. It's completely downhill.
Ruined in a good way, though.
I could have been a doctor, and instead I played video games.
And now you love what you do. So quit your bitching and let's move on. No, but in all seriousness, did you started on Diablo 2 then? That was your first income to the action RPG genre?
Yeah, that's the one that I remember the most. Like I said, I played things like Final Fantasy. I played other random things on PlayStation, like Legends of Dragoon and stuff like that. But the minute I picked up D2, I was just that was it. It was just addicted from there.
Oh, 100%.
Played it all throughout middle school, played it all throughout high school, playing it now during the podcast that you don't secretly know, but you really know that I'm doing.
What?
Nothing at all.
No, actually, my dad will argue till he's blue in the face about this, but I just don't know if it's his old age, true old age, right? And memory, or if maybe I am just crazy. But I truly remember playing Diablo 1 with my dad, right? I don't remember exactly how the Diablo 1 and multiplayer and all that stuff worked. I know Diablo 2 was, I don't think Diablo 2 launched with BNet, or maybe it did. I don't remember exactly, but I know that
When I started playing, there was BNet, so I don't know.
Yeah. I won't argue with you there. But I know that BNet was definitely introduced during Diablo 2. So I don't know if it was just like a local LAN play that you could do with Diablo 1, but Diablo 1 was definitely my first one, and it definitely grabbed me very strongly because I enjoyed the whole concept of killing demons, right, in the game, killing demons and, trying to save the world aspect type of things. But I think my favorite concept that differs from like Diablo 2 versus Diablo 1 is that in Diablo 1, you literally are just going down through floor after floor after floor until you get so far enough down through the cathedral that you reach hell.
Right.
And it's so iconic to me because it's like it reminds you of, or me, not you necessarily, but it reminds me of, you're going down until you hit rock bottom, then you take out the evil of the evils.
Yeah, see, I missed D1. Like, I never played it. I never knew it was a thing.
I mean, you should try it out. They have it. I don't know how good the compatibility of it is through the whole current gen of Windows and Steam, but
maybe. There's like no time, dude. There's no time. Maybe.
It's one of those games you can definitely enjoy on the side. Like it would give you perspective, kind of like give you it would definitely give you perspective as to like how they reached a middle ground of Diablo 2 and why Diablo 2 was such a great success.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because I think that was the huge success that we see from D2 that a lot of people missed. Because I'm almost certain, and I could just look it up real quick, that Diablo 2
what?
Did not launch with BNet. I'm pretty sure
I've been told that it has launched 7 months later, or roughly 7 months later. That is what I was informed of.
Well, I'm not sure what says who, and who knows who was right, and ChatGPT's not always right either, but yeah. I don't know. I would have to do a little bit more research. But regardless of that, I think BNet was probably what made Diablo 2 so successful, outside of the base game just being absolutely, 10 years ahead of its time. But we won't dive down that road quite yet.
I don't honestly know. I never looked at games like that. I was just like, dude, I'm just going to go kill mobs and get loot. That's still how it is, man. Is the game successful? I have no idea. Do I like it? Absolutely. Can I kill mobs and get loot? Sure. Do people like it? I don't care.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I completely agree. It's the same thing with like movies, right? There's plenty of movies that I've decided to go out and see, and regardless of the Red Tomato or the IMDb rating, it could be bombed at 1 star out of 10, or who cares what, and I go and I watch it and I like it, and it's like, why was it bombed? What was so bad about it? Same with video games, right? If you enjoy it. That's all that matters. Who cares about others? Right?
Yes, sir. I didn't know. I was just waiting. I didn't know if there was another statement. I was just like, shit, do I say something? Do I not say something? Do I XDD smile?
If ever confused, just talk.
No, it wasn't. I just was wait. I was just like, I thought you were building up this like epic cliffhanger and this epic thing, and then it was just like, oh, okay.
I mean, you know?
I get it.
So, but in the current gen of action RPGs, the biggest question that a lot of people get asked, is like, is this game better than that game? And my answer always remains the same. It's like, you enjoy the games that you enjoy, and I don't want to make you feel bad or feel like you're secluded because you like this game while I like that game. And I don't care. I'm just here to have a good time, enjoy my game. Hopefully you enjoy your game. And if we are enjoying the same game, more power to it, right?
Yes. I just hear in the back of my head somebody screaming D4 bad.
I was
even though nobody's screaming D4 bad. I like D4, dude. Everybody's always like, D4 sucks, and you're like, what is wrong with you? They're like, it's bad, and you're like, why? And they're like, D4 bad, why?
Yeah.
Then you got all the people, PoE2 bad, why?
Yep.
I don't like it. Why? Shut up.
No, I completely agree. And it's
like what I'm thinking about.
No, that's exactly the first thing that comes to mind when I make that statement. But like in a whole, it's like there's a side of the pie that everybody is going to like, right? And your side of the pie might be on the left side, might be on the right side, maybe on the top side. Who cares what side of the pie it is? But you know what?
Speaking of pies, I'm going to tell you a real life story.
All right.
You remember the movie? I don't want to go into too much detail, but the guy with the pie and the American Dream,
the warm apple pie, yeah.
Yeah. No, the cherry. I think he screwed a cherry pie.
Oh, you had to say it, didn't you?
I mean, it's coming out of the oven. I remember. I met that guy's mom. Many. Yeah.
Oh,
She's an absolute sweetheart. One of the nicest people in the world. And I remember meeting their mom. And it's a story for off the internet. And the first thing I can think of was just like, if this was my mom and I did what I did to a pie, I'm sure my mom would never want me to ask her about it. But I wonder if she's embarrassed.
Probably not. Honestly, probably not.
Yeah.
But you just never know.
Yeah, it's funny and off topic.
That's crazy, though. I mean, it's crazy the people that you meet. I mean, it's crazy how such a small world it is, right? Because off topic, kind of side real life story too. I was born and raised in California, right? And I ended up over here in Georgia. Well, it's crazy because one of my grandmother's friends that used to live in California as well lives like right down the street from us in Georgia. And it's like, what are the odds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a small world after all.
Oh, little shits on a boat. No, thanks. Now we're really going to go off topic because I'm going to say some dumb shit about Disney World and the Small World ride. And I don't know if I want to go down that road.
Oh my gosh. We got...
It's supposed to be video games. You're talking about pies and Disney and...
Hey, but but video games come from all places, all over the world, and all places of real life, right? They stem from an idea, right? Like Diablo stems from the whole demons versus angels, right? Which has a background in history in real life, right? So,
I feel like we're supposed to get to the point where we're supposed to be having conversations and I'm supposed to ask you crazy shit. Like, if I handed you a cupcake and I took off the top of the cupcake, is it a muffin?
I'm just like, what the fuck? Yeah, no.
I feel like mid conversation, I just gotta ask you random shit, like, you know.
No, it's okay. You can ask video game questions too, my friend. It's all right.
But is it a muffin or is it a cupcake still?
It depends on what kind of batter you used. Cupcake batter or muffin batter, because they're two different textures. That's what makes them different.
But then if that's the case, is a cheesecake still a cake?
No, it's a pie.
But it's got cake in the name. See, like this is what I feel like it should be happening.
Oh shit! No.
Anyways, you're welcome.
No, anyways, but back to the action RPG realm, which is kind of where we both do a lot of our dabbling because we just enjoy that type of game.
Oh my god, is a hot dog a hoagie?
Is a hot dog a hoagie? Yeah, that's out of my realm of knowledge. I couldn't tell you.
You know what a hoagie is?
Hot dog and a bagel?
No, a hoagie is like a sub, like a deli sandwich. Bro, get back on video games. Never mind. Southern ass.
Southern? I'm from both sides, okay? Raised
know
in the
what a
north,
hoagie is.
live in the south. You just don't know.
You
Coming from
can't
all
answer the
sides.
difference. If you can't answer the difference between a pork roll or Taylor ham, I don't know right now.
Oh man. Anyways, back to the video game side of things. Action RPGs, right? How many different action how many different games in that genre do you play or have played?
Dude, it's like such a trick question because I play bad games, dude. I play like 3 games, man. I play like D2, and then I play D3, and then I play D4, and then PoE 1, PoE 2, and then like
Yeah, but it's not
Black Desert Online.
it's not. Yeah, but it's not like now. I've heard so much about BDO, right? And I know nothing about that game.
It'll ruin your life. You have an addictive personality?
I mean, it can be.
Yeah, don't ever touch that game ever. It's the best game I've ever played, period, ever. Will ruin your life.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that, but if you enjoy something, I don't understand how it ruins your life. You know what? I have a similar experience with freaking
Download it.
Neverwinter.
Go ahead, download it. Start playing. Log in.
I can't.
You'll never log out again.
I've looked at it. It doesn't look like something I would enjoy. That's why I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought too. And
But
then
then again-
I downloaded it.
Then again, Neverwinter was also another one, right? Did you ever play
I never
Neverwinter?
played Neverwinter.
It was kind of, from what I've heard, it was kind of the same thing, similar to like BDO. It's like once you get into it, it's a fun game. I loved it, but it's like you have to get on every day. You got to do these certain things every day. You got to finish these things every day. And it was like, it was a chore, but it was like a chore you enjoyed doing. But then sometimes it felt like a chore that you only did because you knew you needed the stuff, but you didn't want to do it, but you did it because you had to, because if you didn't get the stuff, you wouldn't have the stuff to be able to do the stuff later on.
There's somebody out there that's going to relate. And then there's somebody out there who I'm going to ask them where Tukey is. And then somebody's going to hopefully respond back. It's always where it's Tukey, but never how's Tukey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can just remember like back in the day playing. I would say back in the day, this wasn't like that. Well, I guess fuck, dude, it's longer than I want to admit. But anyways, it was just such a fun game, and I think I always stem back to like the PvP side of games, man. Games are just. I have so much fun in so many, and I think that's my problem. Like you said, do I have an addictive personality? I absolutely have to say yes at this point. I have to say yes because I have such an addictive personality that I literally have games in the backlog that I have still yet to touch because I get stuck on said game, for example, PD2, when there's other games I know I want to be playing and enjoying. And
There
it's
are
like
other games.
when, like, for example, when the PoE 2 next update comes out, or 326 for Path of Exile 1 comes out, it's like I know I'm going to want to play those, but at the same time, I want to get my dang assassin on PD2 up and running so I can do bossing. But like you said, I need 4 different sets of gear to be able to accomplish the different bosses in the game, which is awesome. I love that. But at the same time, it's like, man, do I want to go down the rabbit hole, or do I want to just farm and then have fun while I'm waiting for the next big drop on the next big game or update that comes down?
It's definitely something. It is definitely something.
Right. And then inside the content creation side of things, right? How much are you giving up by sticking with something you enjoy versus, not necessarily switching to something you don't enjoy, but switching to something else because that's where the hype is. That's where the people are. That's where the viewership may be. That's where that's where you need to go in order to keep the bills paid, right?
I think that is a conversation that is an episode in on its own.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's hard to want to balance the different games that you're having fun with, right? Versus, well, I'm not doing this because I necessarily have to, because I enjoy it too. But it's like now I have a whole slew of other things I have to accomplish at the same time. So, but back down to the action RPG genre versus the action RPGs. Between all the different, did you ever have the chance to play Torchlight?
The original Torchlight, not Torchlight 2 or Torchlight Infinite. Yeah.
You're missing Torchlight 3 as well.
There was a third one?
Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Generally, but I think Torchlight 2 is what made them big. Did you know that the Torchlight devs, at least from what I remember, the Torchlight devs were part of the Blizzard North?
I had no idea. I don't know. I don't track who worked where and who did what.
Oh no, but I'm sure you track the whole. That's why the action RPG base of Blizzard kind of started falling apart, or at least that's what people think, is because Blizzard North left.
No, I people try to have that conversation, and then people get crazy. So I never have that conversation. I mean, obviously, you're not going to go crazy on me. There might be some crazy crackhead that's listening to this right now, but fuming at the mouth because they bought the Blizzard book and they know the whole ins and outs, and somebody somewhere did something to piss somebody off. I know nothing about it, dude. The only time I ever tracked devs and who worked where and who did what was when I played Dead by Daylight, and that was like a beast in itself.
No, I understand. I guess I had such a passion for Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction because that's where I spent the majority of I would say my gaming years from start to finish. Well, I can't say finish, but from start to now, I would probably say that I've logged the most amount of hours in, I don't want to just say Blizzard, but I would say the Diablo series. Just hands down, I don't think any other series or genre touches it.
I can give you one.
Well, for you,
EverQuest.
For you, maybe, right? Yeah, and hands down, I'm not arguing, but I'm saying for me, the Diablo series has the most amount of hours combined, obviously, than any other genre of games that I've played. And trust me, I've played my fair share of Halo. I've played my fair share of Path of Exile since it launched. I've played my fair share of many different games as well. It's just if you were to take the hours, like I could log into Diablo 3 right now and show you that I have, I don't know, like 5,000 hours on just the Demon Hunter alone. But then you look at my other characters and they have very similar amount of hours on each character. It's yeah, I really love the whole. The games were different from start to finish, right? Just like when you go to Path of Exile 1, if you go back to the day when Path of Exile 1 launched, it's nothing like what it is now, right? And the same to be expected with Path of Exile 2, Diablo 4, and all that, and, you know, the lifetime through Diablo 3, even Diablo 2 for that matter, you know, for when it first launched, it's a completely different, not a completely different game, but a completely different experience through the game because of different changes and all that as we go through the different, you know, whether it be bugs, balances, adjustments, broken things, and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it, as far as your experience in the action RPG genre, what do you enjoy the most when it comes to playing an action RPG game? Top down, similar to like Path of Exile, Diablo, Torchlight, Grim
Like
Dawn.
my favorite thing about it?
Yeah. What draws you to the genre? Like, what do you enjoy about the genre?
The mindless aspect of doing the same thing over and over.
So you like insanity?
So I like being able to kill Mephisto 4,000 times for loot and having like structure. Like I can turn on like Diablo 2 and just go kill Meph thousands and thousands of times and not bat an eye. I can go do cows thousands and thousands of times, not bat an eye. The idea that I can just go kill mobs, not have to think, not have to set it up, not have to prep it. It's all there. It's all ready to go and get loot is awesome. The idea of like every single mob, well, it's less loot and more the idea that every single mob at any given point can be the lottery. I like these games because it allows me to choose when I would like to put myself in the position to hit, and I know that I'm giving myself the opportunity to hit something insane. It only like that's the real draw, like the rush. Yeah, the rush of hitting.
Okay, so you
like hitting
the dopamine,
like the rare. Yeah.
So you like the dopamine chase. Okay, you know I can dig that. That's understandable. Mine's not too far from that. That is definitely a big part of what draws me to the action RPGs. Same with like, I get given shit all the time for this too. But like in Path of Exile, you know, you hit that Vol, right? That Vol orb that gives you just that insane hit or bricks your item, right?
Sure.
And you know the famous rule, right? Don't Vol anything that you're not willing to lose.
Yep.
See, I don't live by that aspect. And that's probably one of my problems. You know, I hit the Vol just to see if I can. And then I hopefully can find some backup or something to replace it afterwards. Cause I too chase that same dopamine type of rush, you know, hit that big lottery winning ticket item that you turn around and sell for, you know, 100 divine because it hits the perfect corrupt and perfect mod or whatever the case may be. But I think what draws me to the genre of the top-down action RPG game in a whole is the main concept of you fighting for a purpose, I guess. Slaying evil entities, demons, enemies, monsters, craziness, whatever you want to call it. I think it's more for me the hero what's the word? I can't think of the word. But you being the light shining down on the shiny armor hero style adventure.
Fantasy.
Yeah, the power fantasy. Yeah, that's a perfect terminology. Yeah. And I love living that power fantasy role. And it always hurts my feelings, and I take it very personal. Not really, but I take it personal. You know, when I'm playing that action RPG, whether it be whichever games of them that I'm enjoying, and they take and they nerf my power fantasy to the ground to where I can't even play it anymore. But then I just find the next power fantasy character and move on.
Yeah, see, no, that's all too much for me, man. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. That's just too much for me.
What do you mean? You don't like being powerful?
Yeah, but I don't like being powerful is fine. But it's more like there's always a build that'll be strong, and there's always a way to solve being strong. And it's never about the feeling or fantasy. It's always about solving like for me, it's like, and this kind of goes back to earlier, like it's the puzzle of figuring out what's good and how to get there to be what's good.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I won't argue with you.
I guess I never like put myself in the position of like, the power fantasy, the power fantasy of it. Like if I'm strong, I'm strong. If I'm not, I'm not. If I'm not strong, I'm just going to get more currency. I never like zone into the fact of like putting myself in my character's shoes towards the effect of it. If that makes sense. I just kind of like zone out and play to play,
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Mine's just I was just going off on a tangent with the whole being nerf thing. There's always a solve to it, right? Or another class to play. 100%. I won't argue with you there.
Like the problem with me is like I've talked to a lot of people over the years because I stream for a living,
right?
And I have noticed that very few people don't like. A lot of people have like lost the fun of playing the game to play the game, and they're like kind of like very similar to what you said. Like they have to have this power fantasy, they have to have this power creeper, they have to do this, and sometimes it's just like people forget to just play. Like for me, like I just kill mobs and get loot, man. I'm fucking thrilled to just kill mobs and get loot. You know what I mean?
Oh, I completely agree with you. But what happens when you can't kill mobs and get loot?
So you can always kill mobs and get loot.
Yeah, but what happens when you can't? Do you see what I'm saying?
How would they? No, you will always be able to kill mobs and get loot. Just because your build is bad and you're trash. No, just because your build is bad and you're trash and you can't kill mobs doesn't mean that I have to sit there and try to. No. Stop being bad at video games and fix your dog shit build and go kill mobs.
No, I completely agree. It is, you can always kill mobs and get loot. I do agree. It's just you have to adjust, and some people have trouble swallowing that pill, right? You have to adjust. Sometimes you can't do what you want to do. Like, for example, playing
like you want to go kill you want to go kill bosses in D2. When we're done talking now, go farm loot.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know. That's what I do. I farm loot, right? And I will kill bosses.
You should be killing mobs right now.
Who says I'm not?
You should be killing mobs right now.
I mean, you're not?
Anyway, I mean, I've gained like I just hit level 93 and just did a unique map. I've done like 15 maps while we're talking already. It was wild.
Hey, I mean, that's what it's about, right? No, but that's the wonderful thing about video games, right? We both play similar games. We both play the same games. We play a lot of different games too, but all in all, right? We enjoy the same game in different aspects, right? Like you said, you like to mindlessly just go slaughter demons and farm loot, right? Which is the whole concept behind this podcast, in essence, right? Because even in games that you don't think you're loot farming, you still are potentially loot farming. Like, even if you go back to like Zelda, you have different reasons and different things to go farm, but you're still farming for loot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, it's so awesome that you can enjoy the game on two different levels. Yours being just a kill mobs and farm loot versus I'm playing the game for that power fantasy, and that's what draws me to the genre, is to be able to create that powerful fantasy character that just is almighty and powerful, right? And of course, you have to do step 1, which is what you enjoy about games, in order to do step 2, which is what I enjoy about games. So it's always been something that I've enjoyed, especially being able to talk to others that also share, like-minded games and like-minded tasks in said games. And it's just cool how, like the whole saying of, there's 10 different ways you can skin a cat, right? But 10 people can skin the cat the same way.
Bro, I remember the last time I said that, I got yelled at so hard. It's so funny.
Hey, man, I'm. What do you want me to do? There's 10 different ways you can peel a potato.
No, dude, I just think it's funny because, like, it's the same thing that I would go to, right? Like, it's just funny.
It's just I don't. You know what? Where does that phrase even originate from? Because it's like that's such a horrible thing to compare anything to.
All roads lead to Rome, brother.
Yep, exactly. I think that's a pretty good stopping point as far as like the intro as to what you come from, or what you come in on and where you came from, and what I've come in on and where I came from, and kind of where said roads kind of lead. And I mean, there's millions, if not billions, of different categories that we can speak on in particular said video games. And we kind of touched bases in the very, very shallow part of the water of said ocean size action RPG topics to discuss. But I do want to ask you one question when it comes to the action RPG genre. And it doesn't mean one is bad versus the other.
Oh my God, is this the closing question?
Yes. Can you guess?
Okay. No.
If you had to choose from start to finish any of the action RPG genre games in their current state, no updates, no changes, no adjustments, right? Any of the action RPGs that are out today, which one would you lock in to play from here on out?
In their current state.
In their current state. High, and that kind of, you can answer this however you may, but that's kind of the current state question is the one thing that would rule out PoE 2 from me. But in their current state. And it could be the mod. It can be a mod like PD2 or
it would 100% be PD2 every time. It would be some variation of Diablo 2. Like without hands down, like nothing.
And that
I would say nothing comes close, but like I'll be dead ass honest with you. Hero Siege comes real close, dude.
Dude, Hero Siege is great, and man, I have to say thank you for introducing it to me, because that, and there's other games that I would like to go back in the age and play too, because I heard Grim Dawn was like super good, and I never had the chance to experience it, and then I'm kind of scared to want to go back and finish it. But to close out the current question, you go for Diablo 2 in one way or the other, right? Whether it be one of the versions of Diablo 2, and I have to agree with you. Out of all the ones out there to this date and current state of action RPGs, I will agree with you and lock in one of the versions of Diablo 2 as well.
Yeah.
It's just such a good, iconic game that they did so many things right, and they basically structured the whole start of this genre from the beginning, and they were just so far ahead of the time when they did. It makes games today that are trying to mimic that crazy introduction of new things to the video gaming world that it's not even close.
I feel like Path of Exile comes close. I do.
It does.
But
it does. But
I think the thing that makes D2 the top of the food chain is while it's complex, it's so simple that you don't need a degree. Like the passive tree is straightforward, the farming areas are straightforward. I don't need to spend 10 years setting up to farm. I can log in, I can do a cow run, I can do a pit run, or in PD2 I can do a map. I feel accomplished, I can log out.
Yeah, no.
You know?
I 100% agree with you. It's the simplicity of the complexity.
Yep.
I agree.
And it just feels good. It
does.
It just
ahead of its time.
It just feels good. Yeah.
So, I will say thank you for having these wonderful words and discussing on this pilot episode of Loot Farming Gossip XD. And I look forward to the next episode.
Actually, listening to you say it, the name's pretty good, bro.
Hey, man.
My name's pretty good.
It was a combination of your ideas and mine put together and slammed in for a lock-in on episode 1, pilot episode, Loot Farming Gossip, XD, baby.
Oh, God. All right. Until tomorrow. Or like an hour from now. Either way.
Until the next episode. Out. So now we can say cut, okay? Because at that point, I had to call it regardless of timing because I'm about to piss my pants. So I'll be
Why
back.
do you say I gotta pee?
Because I didn't want to like break because it was so close to that whole like pilot episode timing. It was right. I mean, it's been roughly like between 60 and 70 minutes, give or take, maybe a little bit more.
Has it been that long? Christ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was like, that's a good time to call it. And we'll take a short intermission. And if you would like to continue on and start an introduction for episode 2, I'm game. If not, you let me know. I'll be right back though. I gotta pee.
Chat, was it boring? Honest opinions. Was it boring? At times. And then it felt rocky. Then it felt good. And then it felt rocky. I'll take all criticism. Good, bad. I've already been sent a DM. Boring. Thanks. Fuck you. But thank you. Uh-oh. Nobody's typing. We're cooked. Oh, shit. Streamer's worst nightmare. After I listen on YouTube, that works. Uneven. I definitely felt like it was a little all over the place, right? Felt like we had a list, and I just felt like as soon as it started, you ever watch like those clips where like you have like what you're gonna do, and it's like a list of shit, and then as soon as you walk out your door to go do it, you just throw the list into the fucking wind. I feel like that's what Spooker did. I feel like we sat down to start, and he looked at his fucking imaginary list, and he said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." It's organic. It's good way to put it. I like that. At times it was good, at times it was rambling. I felt I could, yeah. It was definitely rambling. I definitely agree with you. Yeah, I was definitely rambling. I was trying to put myself in the listener's position, which is also really hard to do. Also, is this a good idea? The fucking, did this help focus? I thought the temple run approach might help focus. First one after a few will tell you. I mean, it's also a good way to put it. We all go in with a list. None of us use it. Guys are on the wrong side. I thought this was really cool. I like this. Can't say I wasn't doing maps, but the visual didn't change anything. Perfect. True podcast nature. You ever make a list and forget it? Yeah, all the time. I like it. You should be with a bald guy. I don't disagree. Is that how he has it? How does he have it? He's got it the same way. Yeah, we got to swap it around. Good feedback. Good feedback. There's 10 tails. I can't believe he did it. I want to go back and watch that VOD later. I'm sure that was a crazy fucking fight to watch. Sketchy a couple times. Yeah, dude, that's the whole Rathma fight, man. The whole Rathma fight's like that. That's why I didn't sign up to do it yet. I need a couple pieces of gear and I can easily go do it, but it's just like, it's such a fucking nightmare to do.
And we're back. And we're back.
I definitely want to go have dinner. So I'm thinking part 2 tomorrow. And this way I can also like edit this shit or like start editing it.
You know how to pull it? Or how did you plan on pulling it?
Pull what?
What are you talking about? Editing what?
The cut.
Okay.
You hit record, right?
No.
Oh my God. Did you not record anything? You fucking with me?
No, I'm not. I'm not fucking with you. It didn't record,
You didn't press-
but it's still on Twitch, which is how I pulled the last one. It's fine.
You didn't press record.
I did. It just didn't start. There's an error on my damn thing.
Oh no.
That's all good. No worries.
I'll pull it. I'll download my VOD.
No, I mean it's on mine. I can pull it. No worries. Because yours is switched between, yeah.
What?
Yeah, you got your video right there playing, which is good.
Yes. You don't have that. You just have the, okay, this is what I need you to do. I need you to pull your VOD and just send me your VOD. So like, I don't know if you want to do that later or if you want to press end and then go live again, which I think is too much of a pain in the dick. I wouldn't do that. But I would just say, download your VOD later from Twitch, put it in the Google Drive, and then you can send it to me, and then I'll do it later. Because I thought you hit record now, and I was like, oh, this is sweet. I'm going to go make some burgers. While I'm eating some burgers, I'll edit this bitch while I'm eating.
Yeah, dude, shame on me. That's
I
why
mean,
we do these things.
Welcome to number 1. Your VOD saved, right?
I mean, it saves, but it's not saved yet.
No. I mean, like you have VODs on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just double checking.
I also have VODs on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's there. I wasn't worried about it. Like you freaked out. Like it was like worried. Nah, you're absolutely right. Like I didn't hit the record button. I even have the record button in front of me, but it's still good. It's still good because you can pull it from YouTube. You can pull it from Twitch. Doesn't matter.
Yep. You just send it over when you have it.
Do you want it tonight? Because I can literally end stream so that it saves the VOD and then we can do it. Because that will be easiest way to do it. I'm not worried
That
about
is up. That is
Well-
up to you.
Well, I have to switch scenes and all that stuff, and then I'll end up going live on TikTok as well, just because it's easier. And trying to switch information on TikTok is a fucking pain in the fucking neck. So
Yeah, it's the easy. Okay, so the easiest way for you to do this right now, if you're up for it, you don't have to do it. The easiest way for you to do this right now is to hit end, download the VOD, toss it into Google Drive, and then start back up again with how you're going to do things. But if you don't want to do that, I understand.
all right, chat. Everyone hanging out on my side. I'm not going anywhere. I just have to end stream and restart, and
He's
we'll
muted. I
swap
can't hear
categories
shit.
and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for
Talking
hanging
shit, chat.
out. Thanks for not flaming me for not responding
over.
to some of you guys. This has been a great episode number
Game
1,
over.
and we will be recording episode number 2. But the episodes will not be available right away because we actually have
It's all over from here, boys.
couple. We're
It's
actually going to
ogre.
record probably episode 2, maybe 3 as well tomorrow. On top of that, hey, Gurney, you fuck off, right? You can go fuck off, Gurney.
Oh, he's talking
I'm
to
just
his
kidding.
chat. I get it. That makes more sense.
No, but I will be stopping stream. Don't go anywhere. It will be like probably a minute or 2 before
Cool.
it shows back up live. But
My hands hurt.
yeah.
Fucking the only bad thing about charge is it hurts your hands. Hello?
What time tomorrow are you thinking?
Bro, whenever you're up and ready and fucking...
Nah, bro. I get up at like 1:30 before I go live at 2. Like, dude, I'm fucking cooked during the week sometimes. So it's like I fucking sleep till my body says get up. So just give me a time. It's easier for both of us that way.
Yeah, I don't know.
What time do you
5?
plan on going live?
Fucking when I wake up, but I wake up 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, so do I, but it doesn't mean I don't roll over and take my ass back to sleep.
No, I Oh, they're updating Betrayal League. Wait, what the fuck's this? Hold on. They're updating Betrayal League. Wait, I gotta watch this. I don't know, 3, 4, 5?
That late?
Yes.
I mean, I know you want your grind time, but we were supposed to hammer in some things, man.
Holy shit, you can now just right click an item and unveil it.
So you want to go live. You want to be live for 4 or 5 hours before, and then you want to dive into the podcast stuff.
Bro, they're making it. Bro, they're making it so that you can just unveil items. June fucked off, and all of the June recipes are just in the world.
Nice.
Anyways, I'm gonna get up and start streaming, and then in the afternoon or early evening, we can get together and do it again.
So 3 or 4. So we'll say 4 o'clock then.
It's fine. My plan is to play a little fucking Expedition 33 tomorrow.
Oh shit! So you're not gonna want to do anything.
Not want to do anything.
I've heard
a
it's-
strong word.
I've heard it. Well, I mean anything other than play it because I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it.
I hope I will enjoy it. I will be very sad. I was going to do it today, but I knew we were going to do the podcast thing, and I didn't want to like fucking get into it. But I have to play it. I have to play it before the PoE stuff. So tomorrow's got to be the start of it. Yeah, I mean 4:35. If you're running late, who cares?
Oh, I
We
mean,
can do it if you're.
I'll go
ping you when I
live
wake.
by around 2. That's about my normal time on Fridays because I don't work. I don't work on Fridays, so
I might sleep in. I might not sleep in. I might stay up for fucking hours tonight.
oh yeah, you is.
Maybe. I don't. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I went to bed at 2:30 last night.
I hear that.
I just want to.
All right, well, thanks for that. I appreciate you, man. It means a lot to me, regardless of what you want to think or say.
Look, Chad, he's kicking me out.
Well, actually, you're kicking me out because I have to end stream because I didn't hit record. So you're kicking me out for not hitting record.
You can just
It makes it easier for both of us, and I'm gonna make it as easy as possible because you already have a lot of shit on your plate, and I don't want to make that plate overflowing to where it's like you're bitching, bitch, which you like to do to me. So
I'm not gonna bitch. You sound sad about this whole ending thing. Just don't end. Just send it to me tomorrow.
No,
I'm
not sad at all. I'm not sad at all. Fuck that. I'm not sad. I'm just saying I'm sad. I'm not sad. I'm disappointed because I fucking swear to God, I pushed the fucking button and it didn't fucking push. So
I will tell you. Listen, I will tell you. There was one day I was recording a 10-minute YouTube video, and it took me 4 hours because I thought I recorded and didn't record, and then I recorded, but my mic was muted. Bro, it happened. I tell you, it happens all. Dude, I remember bitching to Cymix. It was like 3.5, 4 hours later. I finally finished everything. He's like, bro, it's a 10-minute video. What happened? And I was like, first I didn't record. Then the fucking sound was muted. Then my camera was off. And he's like, how fucking stupid are you? And I was just like, thanks, buddy. He's like, come on. You have a checklist. And I was like, you only make that mistake once. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like the guy today who vendored his fortitude. You only make that mistake once. Dude, I got a lower and I was like, you want it? He's like, nah.
Yeah, I was there for that.
You know what I did? You know what I did? I went to go corrupt my Annie charm and my Annie bricked. My perfect Annie bricked.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so his fucking low rune was cursed.
Fair point. Okay.
But yeah, don't beat yourself up over the misrecording because, like you said, there was like 18 fail safes.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't too worried about it. But then you made me feel some sorts of way. Then I was like, it fucking doesn't matter. So, but to make it easier on both of us,
some sorts of way.
Well, you made me like think about the thinking part. So you made me fucking think. That was the issue.
Think about what?
Not recording. Damn it. No, it's not a big deal. I don't care. It's no biggie. But to make it easier on both of us, I'll just end and then start back up because I planned on just going live on TikTok as well after this because of the same issue of having to change stuff and move stuff around. So it's but one more click. So no big deal. I'll end. It'll publish the VOD and then I will pull the VOD tonight and just put the raw VOD up on the Google Drive. However long it takes for it to go live.
On what? On where?
On Twitch. It normally takes about 10 minutes for it before you can download it.
I wonder if that's a partner versus non-partner thing.
Probably, and it's more so because of the bandwidth allocation, so it has to process the VOD before it can publish the VOD for affiliates, is for what I've heard anyways. Because yours is like 30 seconds, right? As soon as you hit the end, it's available.
As soon as I end, bro, there are times, it's so funny. There are times when I say some cook shit, and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. And I like, oh my God, my stream disconnected. And I like immediately can delete a VOD because it's available.
Got him.
It's kind of funny. So, okay, as long as you're not upset.
No, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Not with you or anything particular, man. I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all because we have, like you said, we have like 18 fail safes, so no big deal.
And I mean, worst case, we just do it again.
No.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely would.
Yeah, but
yeah, no, absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah, but no.
Just fucking quit. Just fucking, we're done, dude. No podcast, we're out.
No. We just do episode 2 and be like,
Fuck
"Where's
this bitch
episode 1?"
up.
And then we'll publish episode 1 later after episode 2.
Holy.
All right, chat. Don't go nowhere. I'm
All
just
right,
ending
go
stream.
in,
I'll be
go
back.
live again so I can host you and go get dinner.
All right, guys. We'll be right back, and then Gurney will get your push-ups on the flip side once I start back up. Love you guys. Mwah. We'll see you on the other side.